Hi everyone, I'm your host Sarah and welcome to the Spoony Life and Beyond. Today I'm actually going to be sharing a part of my journey which is living life with an immune deficiency disorder. I apologise in advance for any snoring or snorting in the background. It is my pugs. So I'll get started. So there are many different types of immune deficiency disorders. I have hypogammaglobulinemia, so essentially my IgGs are extremely low. I'm also just going to let you know I'm wearing glasses because I'm actually blind. So these are the Ray-Ban and Meta glasses, the smart glasses, and no, this is not a promotion. They just help me, protect my eyes and also receive messages, send messages, etc. So I also have other disorders like lupus, Behçet's disease, hypocomplementemic urticaria disorder, urticaria vasculitis disorder or syndrome, and many other bits and pieces that are immune related. And it really takes a toll. So essentially, I'm going to be retaking this because the last one didn't record properly. So I just want to kind of show you what it's like living a life with immune deficiency disorders versus what it's like with having a normal functioning immune system. So I am on my 14th or 15th time having COVID. About 3 weeks ago I had strep throat, and then about 3 weeks before that I had COVID again. So essentially I'm very prone to respiratory infections and also skin infections, so I've got to try to avoid breaking my skin. And when I go out I have to wear a mask, sanitize, etc., but 9 times out of 10 I will still get sick. So unfortunately I have kind of just resorted to living in my little bubble. I don't let anyone inside my house because it is like my sacred bubble. I know that if nobody enters my house and there's kind of no risk of somebody coming in who doesn't have symptoms but aren't aware if they're contagious yet. So it does make it kind of isolating as well, and it's tricky when you want to go out as well. So essentially every 2 weeks I have to go in and I have to get immunoglobulins infused, which is also known as plasma. And that helps to kind of raise up my immunoglobulin levels to try to help fight infection. However, I also do have the unfortunate side of it as well, where having autoimmune disorders, I also need my immune system suppressed to be able to avoid flare-ups and damage to my organs. So it's very much trial and error. So we have tried different doses at different times or different intervals, which makes it very hard, as a lot of people may know with anything to do with your immune system, a lot of it is trial and error. So, it does make it hard. And unfortunately, when it comes to COVID, now that the panic's all settled, people have become more complacent. And so people don't try to avoid going out now. And so it makes it more difficult for those who are immune compromised. And it's not that it's everyone's fault when they do go out, because, I do understand that people need to make a living. They've got families they need to look after. They need to go shopping and make sure that their family have food on the table. The life just can't stop every time they get sick. And then you've got the other side where if we get sick, the chances of going to hospital is much higher, which is therefore also a lot higher of us picking up other germs and viruses and bacterial infections when we go into hospital. So for us, it becomes a vicious cycle. So, that's what makes it difficult. So we also need to be very careful where we go to. So if it's a very crowded or busy place that we're going to, we need to be really careful. Like, we basically still need to live a life of what it was like when COVID first came out. So we really need to social distance ourselves, wear masks, hand sanitize all the time, wash our hands whenever we get the chance. So for us, it's just like the pandemic, it just really hasn't stopped. It still just keeps on going, and it is difficult, especially for even children who have immune deficiency disorders, just wanting to go out and play with their friends, and not have those worries. And it's really difficult because you do get isolated from everybody else. It is isolating. That I haven't seen members of my family for a very long time, because every time I do go to an appointment or go out and get sick, and then I miss the opportunity to see them. And it's really difficult. And because I can't drive, because I'm blind, I have to get an Uber. And so as per normal, I would have to wear my mask and everything. But you don't know who's been sitting in the car before you. You don't know if the driver's sick. And it's the same as if you go to an appointment with anybody. You don't know who's been in there before you. You don't know, whether the doctor or whoever you're seeing is, infected with something and just aren't showing any symptoms at first. So life is difficult, and it's really hard to plan ahead. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I don't plan ahead, because if I plan ahead, I get myself into a panic. I get very nervous. I get very anxious because I have hidden away in my bubble so much. And I do have agoraphobia, and I was getting through it. I was getting to the point, even though I'd have a panic attack going out every time, I was still managing to go out, to now I just freak out at the thought of going, because now that I'm blind, because I've only been blind for 6 to 8 months, the moment I step out my front door, it's not just the worry of getting sick, it's also just empty. There's no space. Whereas when I'm at home, I'm confined within those few walls, and I know that I'm going to be safe inside. So that's made a huge difference as well. It's really changed life with my vision, because I have a rare disorder called Behçet's disease. It affects your eyes, your mouth, so you get ulcers throughout your mouth. I've had times where I've had over 20 ulcers in my mouth at a time. And I woke up one day and I just couldn't see. It causes ulcers in various other places. And with my immune deficiency disorder, I do get skin infections. So like I was saying before, I've got to be careful if I break my skin, because I do get ulcers. Unfortunately, I got a bee sting a few months ago, and where I got stung, I ended up getting a skin ulcer. That made it really hard as well. And it was a very special day where I was supposed to be going out, and unfortunately I'm extremely allergic to bees, so I had to have EpiPens, and that ended up being a day where I couldn't go out. I'd really love to
message on your phone from SCIG saying, let's say
I'd really, like to hear from other people if they've got immune deficiency disorders, if they'd like to share their journey and share their awareness on, the disorders that they suffer from or their children suffer from. because like I said, there's so many different types of immune deficiency disorders, you know, and it's kind of, I think, good for people to learn what it's like to be on the other side, you know, of just being able to go out and function day to day, to being on the other side and the effects of what happens if we try to just function for a day and go out. So it does make life complicated, but it does help if you have a really good support system. So you can still kind of have a social life with your family, like having daily video calls, messaging, you know, so you're not actually isolating yourself from socializing with people in other ways. You kind of learn to go about things differently, and you're able to interact with people differently. And you know, the loved ones that are supposed to be in your life, you learn who they are, because they don't run away. They stay with you. You know, they put up with it, even though it is hard for them to put up with it, because it is frustrating, because you often have to cancel your plans and they've made time with you, and at the last minute you just can't go, you know, because you got sick or something's happened. So, you know, it's really a very different journey, and it takes time, and you know, you've got to really have a different mindset of trying to look at the positives within each negative, which is what I do with my life now. I try to look for a positive in every negative, and you know, and try to find ways around things if something doesn't work. So if I can't make it out to see somebody, I try to video call them and have a chat, so at least we've been able to talk to each other. So yeah, so that's kind of what it's like in my life, kind of just a snippet. And I would really, you know, I'd really appreciate it if people would like to share their journeys or a loved one's journeys. And if you want to stay anonymous, that's perfectly fine. You know, send me a message and I'm happy to have a chat even. So I'm always here. And the channel of Spoony Life and Beyond is, you know, to help raise awareness for those who have chronic illnesses, disabilities, and invisible disabilities or illnesses, you know, and trying to break the stigma and raise awareness and help people to kind of understand what it's like, you know, living with these disorders and what these disorders are and how they affect us. So, you know, I really appreciate your support and staying with us and joining with me today. And I will let you go. So please like, share and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Mwah.